Shelby K here, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about 10 honest truths about vet med. These are things that I think are really important for people to kind of understand and know about, especially if they're considering going into the veterinary field. These are things that I think are not talked about enough that may or may not kind of change someone's decision to go into vet med. Just a little disclaimer here, I am not trying to push anyone away from the veterinary field. If this is something you're very interested in, you're passionate about, of course, go for it. But these are things that I think are really important for people to understand are part of our job. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into our 10 honest truths about vet med. So my first honest truth about vet med is that it is not just playing with puppies and kitties all day. I cannot tell you how many times throughout my veterinary career in the last 5 years, I always hear, oh, that would be such a great job. You just get to play with cute animals all day. You get to help them. It's so great. It would be such a great job. While yes, we do get to see cute animals all day and play with puppies and kitties, this is not our entire job. What a lot of people don't realize is that we are dealing with very serious issues. We're dealing with sick and dying patients, and we do have patients that are terrified of being in the clinic, and so they become aggressive out of fear and they try to bite or attack out of protection for themselves. Not only are we dealing with serious issues with these patients, but there's a lot of administrative work that goes into it too. It's not just sitting in a room cuddling kittens. You're writing charts, you're putting in charges, you're running lab work. There's a lot of administrative kind of stuff that goes into it as well. So it's really not just playing with puppies and kitties all day, and I think that's something that a lot of people kind of misconstrue about this field, is that we're literally just playing with cute animals all day. Number 2 is that this job entails a lot of cleaning. There's always stuff to be cleaned in a hospital. You're cleaning up after your procedures and surgeries and treatments and things. There's always laundry to be done, cleaning cages, picking up dog poop, cleaning up vomit, blood, urine, all that kind of fun stuff. And there's a lot of cleaning that needs to be done. And it's kind of one of those jobs that everybody does, everybody pitches in, everybody cleans up after themselves, helps out their teammates, things like that. Number 3 is that this job is both physically and emotionally draining. I think this is one of the most important, honest truths, because I think a lot of people don't realize how draining this job really is. On the physical sense, you're on your feet for pretty much your entire shift, at least 95% of your shift. And your shift can be anywhere from 4 to 16 hours depending on where you work and what your shifts are. Some hospitals, you're just so busy you don't have time to take a break. Not only are you on your feet for the majority of your shift, but during your shift you're bending, you're kneeling, you're lifting up heavy animals, you're transporting animals from room to room. Me personally, I am exhausted almost every night I come home from work. I'm usually in bed by like 9 because I'm just so tired, so worn out from the day. And on the other side of that coin, that I think is even more important for people to understand, is that it is a very emotionally draining job. Compassion fatigue is a totally real thing. I'm gonna be coming out with a video soon about compassion fatigue and what it is and kind of my experiences with it, things like that. As I said before, you're dealing with very serious issues with these patients. You're seeing patients die, you're seeing patients get sick, and this is just one of those fields that, you could do every single thing right, you could do every test, you could do every treatment for a patient, and they could still die. And that is one of the worst feelings in the world, is feeling like I didn't do enough. But then when you think about it, you really did all that you could for that animal. If you guys weren't aware, veterinary medicine has one of the highest suicide rates of any profession, and this is one of the reasons why, because we deal with some very serious issues. There's a lot of things that play into it. Again, I'll talk about it more in the compassion fatigue video. You're gonna feel stressed. You're gonna feel overwhelmed a lot. Number 4 is that you have to like people. I can't tell you how many times I have seen memes and t-shirts and mugs and things like that that say veterinary medicine because people are gross. I hate these sayings because talking to people is like a huge part of our jobs as techs and assistants, because you have to deal with the clients every day. Your patients are not able to tell you what is wrong with them. They can't talk to us. They can't say, my stomach's upset today. The clinical signs that your patients are having have to be conveyed through the owner. The owner has to tell you, oh, Fluffy hasn't eaten in 3 days. That's really unlike her. We were at the park and Samson turned a corner really quickly and screamed, and now he's not using his back leg. The owner has to communicate to us what's going on with their pet, what's different, what's not the norm for them, and then we have to kind of infer what's going on with the pet from those symptoms. So it is really important that you're comfortable talking to people, because you do have to communicate with the client on a regular basis. You have to be able to get the history of the patient. You have to be able to convey what treatments need to be done. If you're going to send home this medication with a client, you have to be able to communicate to them what the instructions are. Give them this amoxicillin 3 times a day. Maybe you're teaching a client how to do sub-Q fluids at home. You have to be able to convey that to them. You have to be able to communicate with them so that they understand how to do it and do it properly. Client communication is probably one of the number one duties in our job, so it is very important that you at least can have some sort of comfortability talking to people. Number 5, and it's one that I feel like is talked about a lot, but I still want to mention it in this video, is the low pay. Veterinary professionals have very low pay compared to a lot of other professions, unless you're a doctor or you work in like a specialty hospital or an emergency hospital of some sort. But technicians and assistants especially are very underpaid for what we do, so just know that you're not going to be going into this to get rich. Number 6 is that your morals and your personal boundaries are going to be tested. I can't tell you how many times I have had a client who brings in their dog who was never vaccinated for parvo and now has parvo, and now they can't afford to treat it, so they're just going to take it home and let it die pretty much. Things like that happen all the time, and everything about that goes against my morals, my ethics, my personal boundaries. I would never let a pet suffer like that, but unfortunately that pet is not mine to make the decision about. You know, you can do different things. You can offer to have the owner surrender the pet and then, you know, take on the care yourself or find someone for it. You can tell them what treatments need to be done, but unfortunately in the end it is the owner's decision, and there's really nothing you can do about it at that point. With that, it is very important for us to try not to judge or criticize clients. We don't know what's going on in that client's life. I know it is very hard. I'm still struggling with it myself. Number 7 is that toxicity and workplace bullying seems to be a very common thing in the veterinary field. I don't know what it is about the veterinary field, but I have heard so many stories and even experienced myself. Workplace bullying, toxicity, there's a lot of favoritism. I've seen a lot of competition happening between like the techs and the assistants, or between the different techs, kind of like who can do their job so much better, who can get higher perks, things like that. A lot of competition. I've seen a lot of cliques happening in larger hospitals, which then causes more kind of workplace bullying and rumors spreading, things like that. Finger pointing happens a lot, where something gets done wrong or something doesn't get done at all, and it's, oh, well, that person did that. That person did that. That's that person's fault. There's a lot of finger pointing that can happen. A lot of not my job mentality. Oh, well, that's not my job. Go get someone else to do it. And then just in general, there's kind of an unwillingness to train. Training someone to work in the veterinary field when they have absolutely no experience is very difficult. And I do understand that. I was a head assistant for about a year and a half at my first hospital. I was kind of in charge of helping train the new assistants, and it is very difficult because it is very time consuming. There's a lot of things that we need to know and that are very important that people learn how to do correctly. So I do understand that, but at the same time, I think that there needs to be a little bit more willingness to train, because no one's going to get better without that training. I'm not saying this to deter anyone who wants to go in the veterinary field. Oh, you're never going to find somewhere that's going to train you. That is not true. There are hospitals out there. You just have to kind of keep looking. You have to keep pushing. You have to keep putting your resume out there and just try everywhere that you can, and eventually you will find that place that will hire you regardless of your experience. Number 8 is that there is kind of a lack of respect for technicians, I feel like, and assistants as well. There are clients out there who will not want to talk to you. They're only going to want to talk to the doctor because they feel like technicians and assistants know absolutely nothing. There are clients that are not going to trust you. They're not going to understand that you have had education as well. We have clients at my current hospital that won't even let us do toenail trim because they don't trust us. They want the doctor to do it. Number 9, and this is one of the most annoying ones, this actually happened just last night to me. You are going to be having people constantly asking you for free veterinary advice. You're going to have your friends from high school who you haven't talked to in 6 years messaging you on Facebook and being like, hey, how's it going? By the way, my cat has had this issue for 3 weeks and what should I do? What can I give him? You're going to be asked for free vet advice everywhere you go. Literally, I was in San Francisco a couple of weekends ago with my boyfriend and my cousin. We went into this little shop on the wharf, and I had on a sweatshirt that had the name of my old veterinary clinic in it. And the clerk at the store looked at me and he said, oh, are you a vet? And I said, no, I'm a technician. And he said, oh, okay. He walked away, and then he came back and he asked me about his cat that had been having some sort of anxiety, licking, chewing on herself kind of issue. Someone I didn't know, had just met that minute, was asking me for free vet advice. It's gonna happen literally everywhere you go. It's gonna happen all the time, and it's gonna be really annoying. I understand. Something to keep in mind with that, though, is we are not veterinarians. We cannot diagnose. The best thing you can do, in my opinion, is just tell them, well, it might be this, but I don't know. You need to go see your vet. It's really important that we know this, because we don't want to be giving out advice and telling them to do certain things that may work for one problem, but this animal might be dealing with something else. So I understand you want to help your friends, you want to help your family, and you can to an extent, but you cannot say with 100% certainty that your animal has something. So the best thing I say to do is to just tell them you have to go see a vet. And the final honest truth about veterinary medicine is that it is one of the most rewarding jobs you will ever do. I wanted this one to kind of be a more positive one. The point of this video was not to deter anyone or scare anyone away from working in the veterinary field, because it is honestly one of the most rewarding things you can do. Yes, you're going to be dealing with a lot of hard issues, you're going to be dealing with compassion fatigue, and it's going to be very difficult, but it is also going to be so rewarding. And you're going to know you are going to be making a difference. It is so rewarding to know that I am helping provide a voice for those who do not have one. It's one of the best things that I feel like I've done in my life. I do not imagine myself really doing anything else. So those are my honest veterinary medicine truths. If you guys have any other truths that you want to share with the up and coming veterinary community, go ahead and leave them down in the comments below. And if you made it to this part of the video, I just want to say thank you so much. I have decided that this channel is going to strictly be a veterinary technician or veterinary related, as well as lifestyle related channel. For those of you that are here for all of the nerdy content, that is going to be over on my other channel, Shelby K Cosplay. I will link it down below. So this is going to be strictly for the kind of lifestyle and veterinary and kind of animal related videos. I'm hoping to be posting a lot more regularly. I have so much motivation and I have so many video ideas coming up. If you guys have any sort of veterinary related topics you guys want me to talk about, let me know down below. So that is all I have for you guys. As always, I thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to hit that subscribe button as well as the little notification bell so you guys know when I upload. Check out my socials, which are going to be linked down below, and I would appreciate it if you guys would check out the other video here on the sidebar. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys.